Welcome to the headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, Buddha Day celebrations are held worldwide, with Master Cheng Yen leading the first ceremony in Hualien's Jing Si Hall. Australia Tzu Chi volunteers join their counterparts around the globe by holding a Buddha Day ceremony in Eastwood of Sydney. And as Mother's Day falls on the same day as the Buddha Day, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam organized an event to spread the message of filial piety. On May 12, Tzu Chi volunteers in 34 countries worldwide held Buddha Day ceremonies to mark the Buddha Day, Mother's Day and Tzu Chi Day. Yesterday at 7 a.m. local time in Taiwan, under the leadership of Master Cheng Yen and Dharma masters from Jing Si Abode, the first Buddha Day ceremony commenced at the Hualien Jing Si Hall. Chanting the incense praise to commence the first Buddha Day ceremony, under the leadership of Jing Si Abode Dharma masters, over 3,000 Tzu Chi volunteers and the foundation staff pay their respects to the Buddha with reverence and piety. Volunteers praised the grace of Sakyamuni Buddha for founding Buddhism 2,500 years ago to nurture our wisdom life. This year, the Buddha Day ceremony is centered on the theme of Tzu Chi's translucent sphere of lazuli, which displays the harmony, unity, mutual love, and joint effort of Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide. As volunteers walk towards the Buddha bathing altar in the center, it signifies the cleansing of minds. And as they walk outwards, it symbolizes Tzu Chi volunteers actively walking into the community. The overall circular formation is symbolic of the continuance of Tzu Chi's Jing Si Dharma lineage and philosophy. Only when hearts are pure can we have a society filled with peace and harmony. For 4 consecutive years, the Hualien County Fire Department chief has led his team in attending the ceremony as they pray for a better world.
The Buddha Day ceremony is our happiest day of the year, as we are involved in rescue work. If society becomes a more peaceful place, the life and property of people can be guaranteed, and in turn, we firefighters will be safe too. So we are all very happy to attend the event.
The group formation for this year's ceremony portrays a flying bodhisattva of Tzu and commissioners. Compassion shows no discrimination between race, ethnicity, or religion. So long there is love, the world will become a better place.
This is my first time attending. When we put our palms together to sing the sutra, we reached out our arms, and in that moment, it really felt like we were handing our hearts to the Buddha. Practicing the spirit of the Sakyamuni Buddha through walking meditation, it is hoped that the participants at the Buddha Day ceremonies in the 34 countries worldwide can also be immersed in Buddha's wisdom and Dharma joy. Next, we join the largest Buddha Day ceremony in central Taiwan, which was held at the Charlotte Square in Taichung, with nearly 8,000 residents participating. Let's take a look. A helicopter is in the air to capture the different formations put together by Tzu Chi volunteers. Over 30 Dharma masters are leading participants at the largest Buddha Day ceremony in central Taiwan. Among the some 8,000 residents participating is the mayor of Taichung City and his wife.
The ceremony helps cleanse our mind and get rid of the greed, hatred, and ignorance in our hearts.
It has been raining and the ground is quite muddy, but the spirit of Tzu Chi is led regardless of the challenges. Volunteers will overcome any circumstances.
Some team government officials are also on site to pray for peace and harmony. All the directors from different government departments are here to take part together. I feel that through the event, everyone has become more united in effort. Previously homeless, Mr. Lin, who is a diabetic patient, has been looking forward to this special occasion because it was with the help of Tzu Chi that he's now making a living to support himself.
I'm really grateful to Dr. Chi Bangjie. He's really a living Bodhisattva.
We pray for the world to be free from disaster and suffering. This is also a way of giving. We encourage them to give.
And outside of the ceremony ground, The son of a Tzu Chi volunteer shows up with his girlfriend to surprise his mom.
I am deeply moved and really surprised.
We want to thank her for taking care of us.
The atmosphere here at the Buddha Day ceremony is one of love and warmth. At the Buddha Day ceremony held in Kaohsiung's Jing Si Hall, team members were also on site to provide free health check to participants. And as the day also marked the Nurses' Day, medical staff all found it to be particularly meaningful to celebrate the day by contributing to help those in need.
In Taiwan, at the Buddha Day ceremony in Kaohsiung's Jing Si Hall, sprinkles of raindrops suddenly fell from the sky. To prevent participants from getting wet, the second ceremony was moved indoors. The cooling of temperature also decreases the likelihood for members of the public to catch a cold.
In the past, exhaustion was more likely to happen during the ceremony. This type of rainy weather is less common.
At the event, team members not only stand by to help, but also conduct free health checks for the public at large. One team doctor, Ding Fang, especially cleared her schedule in order to participate in today's event.
In combining the three graces of gratitude for the Buddha, our country, and society, to show the love we have for our mother is such a special way to celebrate this occasion.
Team doctors are not the only ones showing filial piety by helping out society at large. As May 12 is also Nurses' Day, those angels in white were also on hand to give.
I'm very happy that I have this opportunity to dedicate my time. This day belongs to everyone.
In celebrating Buddha Day and Nurses' Day, team members are not only safeguarding the health of local residents, but also reciprocating the gratitude of their parents.
Joining their counterparts in the tri-celebrations worldwide were Tzu Chi volunteers in Sydney, Australia, who rented the field next to the Eastwood station for the Buddha Day ceremony. Here's more.
In Australia, the Sydney Tzu Chi chapter is holding a large-scale Buddha Day ceremony to celebrate the occasion. Knowing how much effort is needed to finish setting up the venue, every volunteer does their part to help. For those volunteers who are unable to do heavy lifting, they contribute to the event by either assembling the flower arrangements or help out in the kitchen. On the day of the celebration, many Dharma masters, local residents, as well as government officials all arrived to participate.
And I thank the Buddhist community of Ryde for having the invitation sent to me to be with you today. I have the greatest respect for the Buddhist people.
It's good to see a whole lot of people coming together to celebrate the Buddha's birthday. Just keep practicing the Dhamma and listen to the Master, because what she says and what she does is so important. Yeah?
And Buddhism is a religion that's increasing in popularity in the West because faith brings people back to where they should be. That is peacefulness and looking after one another in a harmonious way. So I'm glad to be here celebrating with my fellow brothers.
On the other side of the field is a photography exhibition set up for people to be acquainted with Tzu Chi's missions.
It's rare for children to receive this kind of education, so this is a good opportunity for the children to learn that they can help others.
In walking the Tzu Chi path, it's comforting to know that one is never alone when facing the good and the bad of society.
To ensure everyone have the opportunity to take part in the Buddha Day ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia have visited residents at the Sungai Buloh Leprosarium each year since 2010 to hold a mobile ritual there. This year, besides making paper flowers, some students also brought their handmade cards to wish the seniors a happy Parents' Day. To celebrate Parents' Day, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia's Selangor are making paper flowers for residents at the leprosy settlement in Sungai Buloh.
The reason why we made these paper flowers is because real flowers will wither, but these you can keep for a long time. The grandmas and grandpas will feel our love towards them.
Tzu Chi volunteer Tang Fengyi and students from her tutoring class are also present with their handmade cards to express their love and well wishes for the seniors here.
The visit gives these children a chance to learn how to love and respect others, particularly their parents and grandparents at home.
Beginning in 2010, Tzu Chi volunteers always visit senior residents each year to hold a mobile Buddha Day ceremony, who otherwise won't be able to attend due to their difficulty in movement, giving them a chance to purify their minds.
Peace to the world, peace to everyone. It doesn't matter if we are poor, as long as we are happy.
Treating everyone like family, the loving care of Tzu Chi volunteers is probably the best Parents' Day gift for these elderly residents. Prior to the Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in Taipei, Tzu Chi volunteers from various districts have been practicing hard for the upcoming celebration. We meet Xu Ruizhen and a Japanese volunteer to see the effort and dedication they put in to make the day perfect.
To make sure more than 180 volunteers will be ready for the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Ruizhen thoughtfully marked down each volunteer's movements on their notes.
Since some of our volunteers are senior in age, so we have marked down important parts to help them practice for their movements.
During the ceremony is Japanese volunteer Orito Nobutaka, who with the help of translator Chen Guozhi overcomes language barrier and moves in sync with other volunteers.
After the 311 Japan earthquake, Tzu Chi has provided our country with immense help, and it really touched my heart.
After reading the Japanese version of the Tzu Chi Monthly, Orito Nobutaka decided to walk the Tzu Chi path. Now a devoted volunteer, his calendar is full of Tzu Chi events. Instead of getting her hand injured from boiling water at the Tzu Chi Sanchong grounds, Tzu Chi volunteer Cho Shoulan insists on attending the rehearsal at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall.
Life is impermanent. We don't know if death comes first or tomorrow comes first. That's why we need to seize every opportunity to give.
Also seizing every opportunity to give is volunteer Li Shouqing, who not only practices recycling but also watches Master Cheng Yen's wisdom at dawn on a daily basis. She says the Dharma has helped her change for the better.
I will ask myself if I made a mistake, and if I did, I will repent and change accordingly. If not, it wouldn't bother me what others think.
This is Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Shufen, who visits the Tzu Chi Guanzhu Grunge each day to watch Master Cheng Yen's life wisdom. In the process, she also got rid of her short temper. Wang Shufen says her bad temper was her mother's biggest concern before she passed on.
My mother passed away, and I regret for letting her worry about me. She is in another world now, and I think she can see that I have changed for the better.
Wang Shufen vowed to use the body given to her by her parents to help those in greater need as a way to reciprocate the love of her parents.
Staying in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Choulan from Miaoli is a filial daughter who, despite being married for some 30 years now, still visits her mother weekly to help out around the house. And Huang's 85-year-old mother shows her support to her daughter by sorting recyclables every day and also takes part in the Buddha Day ceremony each year.
来了，带声音的来哟！阿太，你看呐，大光头，好可爱哟！小宝，吉米啦，叫做吉米。
Today, Huang Choulan is home visiting her mother and has brought her mother's favorite great-grandchild to visit as well. Holding the baby in her arms, the senior's face lights up with a smile.
就是想说，妈妈一个人在住在这边哈，我回来的话就扫扫地。
My mom lives here alone, so I help clean up the house a little, like sweep the floors, clean the bathroom, tidy her room and such. And I will bring my grandson and granddaughter to visit too. It always cheers her up. My granddaughter is very fond of my mother and she's always excited to see her. When she goes in the garden, she always goes barefoot, so I want to trim her nails. I once offered to wash her feet, but she said no. But look, her nails have hardened, and if I don't soak them in water, it's difficult to trim them off.
Knowing that her mother has trouble bending over to trim her own toenails, each time Huang visits home, she will help trim them. In Huang's eyes, the vitality in her 85-year-old mother hasn't faded over the years, and despite her limited mobility, the senior occupies her time with practicing recycling.
I pick up recyclables that are lying on the side of the road, like plastic bottles. I put them over here and they'll come collect them later.
Using actions to support her daughter do Tzu Chi work, the senior always looks forward to the annual Buddha Day celebrations.
I asked my husband to drive my mom to the Buddha Day ceremony and to stay with her throughout the event, as she can neither sit nor stand for too long, but she was really happy to attend the ceremony. My mother is very content and grateful for everything she has, and she says she wouldn't ask for anything else.
Devoted to taking care of her mother tirelessly, Huang's filial piety sets a good example for all to follow.
我做慈济就想说，用我这个妈妈给我的有用的身体来做慈济，回报母恩。
Finding a job is often a difficult task for the disabled, and some opt to start their own businesses. A sufferer of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Xu Zhanrong, overcame her physical condition and against all odds managed to set up a tour group to give the handicapped in Taiwan an opportunity to explore the beautiful sceneries the island has to offer.
I have ALS, so if no one helps me, then I am unable to move about. However, when I started this disabled group tour, I found I am able to do many things. If I can travel to these places, then others like me can too.
As the founder of a disabled group tour service, Xu Zhanrong is getting ready to guide a group of travelers on a sightseeing tour.
It's a bit hectic at the beginning of each trip, as we will be unfamiliar with everyone's conditions. It takes time to get to know each other, so in the beginning it takes a while to get on the bus.
The excitement of the travelers feel about the upcoming trip is palpable and infects passers-by who stop and inquire about the group.
It's great to have an opportunity to travel with others. This kind of tour group is wonderful, as we can share experiences. So when I saw them, I hurried over to ask what organization they were.
This disabled group tour is a great idea. I hope to join them later on.
As Xu Zhanrong has limited mobility for this group tour to run without a hitch, she has recruited a partner to help.
In order to make sure the trips run smoothly, we will visit an area 4 or 5 times to get to know the place. If the tourist spot doesn't have handicap accessibility areas, then there's no way we can visit that place.
Before the start of the trip, the tour guide helps each traveler switch to an electronic wheelchair.
Because areas on a slope are hard for regular wheelchairs. When traveling in electronic wheelchairs, we don't have to waste energy on pushing ourselves around. It's much more convenient for everyone.
Such thoughtful gestures like the use of electronic wheelchairs makes this tour group stand out from the rest.
Right now, disabled traveling is still a new concept here in Taiwan, so Zhanrong has spent much effort in checking out tourist attractions to find a spot suitable to visit with me. In the end, not only are these trips suitable for the disabled, but other family members can also join them.
This van carries 8 eager passengers to the tourist destination of Wushantou Reservoir in Tainan. As it's a rare trip out, Xu hopes everyone has a great time and also hopes to instill confidence in each traveler.
过去10年哦，我几乎
In the past 10 years, I hardly left my house, as I encountered many obstacles when I did. Not relying on others to get around is, in a way, a form of dignity. Normal traveling for me requires outside help, but this form of independent traveling is very liberating.
If you are in a wheelchair traveling alone, you attract a lot of attention. If there are a group of us in wheelchairs traveling, we still attract a lot of attention. However, the focus isn't necessarily on one person, so we are more at ease.
Just when the fun was about to start, a downpour threatens to ruin their trip. However, this travel group came prepared with raincoats big enough to cover the wheelchair, and even a plastic slip-on to protect the feet.
Everyone looks out for one another, and we feed off each other's positive energy. I think that's what I take away most from these tours. Our human interactions are innocent, without any underlying messages to them. In its purest form, it's friendship.
There is no one more familiar with the difficulties of traveling in a wheelchair than Xu, but with her optimistic outlook, she has become a disabled traveling expert. Her travels have taken her to places many would not believe a wheelchair user could go, such as rafting or hiking in the mountains. In the end, we see that disabled traveling is just as exciting and adventurous as normal traveling.
As Mother's Day coincides with Buddha Day, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam organized a Parents' Child Day on May 5th at the Taiwanese Chambers of Commerce in Binh Dong Province, where the youngsters all came to understand their parents' unconditional love.
Unable to completely wring the towel dry with their small hands, the children, however, are not ready to give up, as the people they are serving today is none other than their own parents. Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers and the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce affiliated kindergarten in Binh Duong Province jointly organized a Mother's Day event. With a cloth, students gently wipe the hands and face of their parents and kneel down to wash their parents' feet and feed them a meal. Never having to lift a finger at home, students now better understand their parents' toil and give them a hug to show their appreciation. A sign language performance of the kneeling lamb has many parents in the audience moved.
Seeing the performance reminded me of my own parents. We love our children in the same way our parents love us. And one day, this is how our children will love us back too. I think it's a good way to learn.
Parents are an example for their children, and one day the children too will become parents themselves. Hence, filial piety can be said to be the most meaningful heirloom. The series of parent-child activities organized by the volunteers not only brought students closer to their parents, but also nurtured a heart of appreciation too.
We go back to Hualien at the end of today's program and join Tzu Chi volunteers at their second Buddha Day ceremony, where Jing Si Hall masters led students of Tzu Chi's education mission and members of the public in praying for a world free from disasters. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
Xin